All right. Today our guest is Josh Valentine. How you doing today, Josh?
Hey, doing well. Excited to be here. How
Yeah,
you
I'm
doing,
happy
Sam?
happy to have you on board, man. So you tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So I'm 28 years old. Got this whole backstory of intense depression, anxiety surrounding the death of my father when I was 14, and then the divorce of my parents when I was 6. So I basically raised myself, but that was such a trial in my life that it made me disconnected from people. And so that's what began me down the spiral of depression, anxiety.
Right.
And somewhere along the way, halfway through college, I had a face-to-face conversation with myself in the mirror about, if I do nothing to change, what's going to happen to me in the next year? I don't know, 3 years, 5 years, because my
Yeah.
life had been pretty miserable up to that point. And so that was my first biggest pivotal step toward crawling myself out of social anxiety, depression. It's because I found myself at a crossroads. It was I either do nothing to change and get worse, or I do something to change and give myself the experiment to see if change is possible. Why am I telling myself it's not possible if I've never actually tried it?
Right.
And so that took me down this other path of exploring mentors, asking the right questions. What does it take to find meaning in life? How do I find my purpose? What is it? How do I become a better person? How do I just love myself and feel happy? So I started to just go online, Google, find all these mentors, and just took just mad scientist notes and started applying them and
Yep.
started to really become the own scientist of my life. If it worked, I would keep executing it. And then I eventually hired a mentor that you're familiar with as well, Aziz Gazipura,
That's right. Yep.
and I joined his mastermind program for 2 years. And that was amazing because I saw his passion and how much he loves confidence. I've never seen anyone so passionate about self development. I mean,
Right.
that's kind of rare. No one, it's like stuff that no one really talks about. Feelings, like no one talks about feelings. People
It's
want
true.
to ignore feelings and suppress them. That's the natural inclination from my experience growing up. And when I saw his relationship with self development, I absolutely admired that and wanted to be like that as well. Like, what if I framed my life like just a passionate adventure of, hey, how confident can I become in this life? How happy can I be? How can I immerse myself in the best influences so that I can be stronger with time? And then as a consequence, as a byproduct, I'm able to uplift others as well. And so, yeah, after modeling him, I eventually was able to answer that question that I've been searching for so long. And I think it's a question that we all have, like deep in our souls. What is my purpose? What am I here on earth to do? And I realized, yeah, that's I could get behind that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna. If the world's not calling me to be it, then I call myself to become a confidence teacher, someone who teaches people that confidence is a skill, it's a muscle. No matter how much anxiety you're in, there is a way out of it, and you truly can come to love your life and love who you are. It takes time. It takes loving those uncomfortable feelings from within, but you do that long enough, you will be proud of who you are. And so today, yeah, to come back into the full circle of your question, what do I do? So I am now a confidence coach, uh, building my online influence, online empire, as you can
Love it.
call it, social media platforms, uh, blogs, YouTube channel, and hosting live events. That's the vision,
Right.
and ultimate vision is to travel the world, hire translators to help convey my message to the world, fight the perhaps progressively worsening battle of depression and anxiety in the world.
Yep. Yep. And that's very, very respectful of you, respectable of you too, because that's kind of like I think that's one of the things that really brought me into to um, really hone in on the fact that I think you would be great as an expert guest on this series because I feel like we share the same type of background, right, with the whole anxiety battle. So, um, can you tell me a little bit more about how you were able to kind of move past the anxiety and kind of more into the space directly involving confidence and just kind of pushing that anxiety, not aside, because you have to kind of grasp an understanding of how to work through that, but you lose a lot of confidence in the process at times. So can you give us a little bit more background with your anxiety battle?
Yeah, so yeah, that's the perfect word. It really is a battle. Of course, it's uncomfortable, anxiety. That's why we want to escape it,
Yep.
and oftentimes we want to distract ourselves with like Netflix, like anything that's like strong like dopamine hits to not feel the anxiety,
Yep.
or just totally just withdrawing from social situations. And yeah, it's a battle, and I wasn't always winning. One of the hardest times was when I did feel like I was winning, and then I get into a conversation, and then all of a sudden just freeze up. It's like I just all of a sudden I just didn't know what to say, and it's like what happened? It's like I thought I was doing so well. All of a sudden I froze up, and then now my mind is telling me, I guess you really can't solve it. Like it's like making the worst conclusions. I guess it's not possible because you tried so hard, and here you are freezing up again. And so yeah, what it really took was increasing my commitment level.
Mhm.
It's like one of those things that's like it's like stupid obvious, one of those things, but it's like it still needs to be said. If someone is motivated enough, they're going to take action. And so if someone wants to defeat anxiety bad enough, they'll make it happen. And so, yeah, saying that is easier said than done.
Yeah.
But understanding that can become a mental shift of, okay, let's be real. How hard am I trying? Am I really owning up to my anxieties, or am I just self pitying all day
Yeah.
long? Am I just staying in my comfort zone? Like, have I actually done? How much effort have I actually put forth? How much time have I actually spent seeking out a solution, working on self development? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, there's that humility aspect. You got to be responsible for your own growth, and then realize, okay, I guess I haven't been trying as hard. Once you make that conclusion, now the next question for me was, all right, so how do I increase my commitment level? How do I just how do I take action? How do I take consistent action? How do I instill that discipline in my life?
Right.
And that's where modeling Aziz helped me to realize, and other mentors as well. I surrounded myself with a bunch of mentors that immersion. I love the word immersion. Uh, and to give an analogy, if you were to learn a new language, one of the, if not the most effective way, is just to go live in that country that speaks that language, because you're
Yeah.
constantly surrounded by the language, and it kind
Mhm.
of forces you to have to learn it. Uh, that applies to everything that we want to get better at in life, including confidence. If we
Yeah.
want to get better at confidence, we need to ditch our habits in life, our old previous surroundings, environment, and influences that aren't serving us, that are keeping us stuck in anxiety, and replace that, upgrade that with something that does support it. So I'm
Yeah.
talking about uh, affirmations, inspirational videos, inspirational music, uh, YouTube videos of mentors, listening to them, writing down your goals on notes. You can even record yourself saying affirmations and then play it back to yourself.
Mhm.
Talking about blocking out times in your schedule to meditate, do breathing techniques, write in a gratitude journal. And really, it's the same concept as working out. You work out, you train, you put in the time, you have a plan to build your muscles, lose weight, gain weight, whatever your goals are.
Yeah.
When you turn confidence into a workout as well, it's the same approach. You come up with a plan, you put in the time, get the reps in, and if you stick in it long enough, you can give yourself solid evidence to prove to yourself that change is possible. You can become confident.
Yeah.
But that period of time to prove that to yourself is essential, because when you're stuck in anxiety, uh, when I was stuck in anxiety, I was there was this strong voice saying change is not possible,
Mhm.
and I think that's the ultimate demon
Yeah.
of anxiety. It doesn't want you to
You
change.
feel trapped.
Anxiety, yeah, anxiety is this strong sense of I'm not good enough, but what it really wants you to do is avoid discomfort,
Right.
avoid what what's actually going to get you out of anxiety.
Yep. Exactly, dude. And it's crazy how, I'm not sure if I shared the kind of like my little bit of background of anxiety when we first talked on the phone, when we first met. It was a lot of definitely a lot of self doubt, definitely a lot of lack of confidence, definitely this is my life as I knew it kind of thoughts. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
to go from I mean, look at where you're at now, and like we're having this conversation about how anxiety sucks. We get it, but now look at the things that we're doing. You know, it's like we're now we're trying to give back to people that are lacking the things that we once lacked ourselves. You know, and I think that a lot of people can relate to the fact that right now is a hard time, you know, to be alive, or just to go through this entire year. There's been a lot of fear and the unknown and anxiety circling around just the world in general, but especially with entrepreneurship, I would say. Like there's a lot of what ifs, and there's a lot of feelings of kind of being alone in that as well. So it's like, what made you feel, I would say, the most, I guess we could still use the word confident, but what made you feel the most confident as far as taking that leap to get into entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So what I've found after just diving into confidence work more and more. So initially, it began as just calling myself, making a decision, and just going for it. Uh,
Yeah.
Later on, it's become something that I'm naturally passionate and just naturally emotionally invested in. Still working out the best way to describe it, but there's that difference in my journey of it did begin as more of a decision. Uh,
Yeah.
I, I value self development, therefore I want to embody it and I want to teach it so I can be consumed in it and have all that influence.
Yeah.
So I kind of just appointed myself into that position. But now it's become like something I love. It's something I'm passionate about. And I think when we ignite confidence with passion, as in it's something that we have this powerful, like we know passionately why we want to do this,
Yep.
uh, then that becomes, it just becomes something fun and something that's just, you just exude more of. It's not just a choice. I'm not just doing it just because I see how it could benefit me. I'm doing it because I, I, I love to.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about. I'm madly passionate about doing it, and
Yeah.
it really does just come back down to like why. You know, why do you want to do it? And the strongest reason why I want to do it is because it makes me feel alive, makes me feel charged.
Yeah.
And I think if anyone has something to that effect as their why, then they're going to make massive impact in their lives and in the lives of other people
Yeah.
as well.
I agree. I agree. And it's circling back to kind of what you said about you know, the whole working out thing is I think I was talking about this recently on another interview too, is just the fact that it's kind of like a muscle, like just like you said, where it's like you really have to kind of exercise that in order to get your mind in a place where you can just say, screw it. I'm gonna do it because this is what I've been sitting on for a while. This is something that I feel really passionate about, and don't look back. It's the same thing as once you make that commitment, that decision, that confidence to make that move direct in the right direction and where you want to go. You feel better because you've made that decision. Almost, it like starts right there. And the more that you kind of keep inching your way to whatever results that you are trying to get, you just start experiencing small wins and small wins. So it's like I'm always telling people to kind of celebrate the small victories, because I forget to do that myself. You know, it's like everything is such a big critique in our own ways. You know, it's like I accomplished this. I won a gold medal. I didn't, but you know, for someone that has, they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. You know, but that's a that's a big deal, and I think we don't give it ourselves enough credit. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's like how do you climb a mountain one step at a time? And I totally relate to that. Uh, trying to trying to push myself faster, farther
Yeah.
than is realistic slash fun. You know, it's
Yeah.
like when you take away the fun, then it's like, wait, what is this? This isn't what I intended my life to be like.
Yeah.
I always wanted it to be fun because I want to be positive.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can get caught up in the self development work so much that we work against it.
It's true. Yeah, yeah, it's
Crazy.
very true. It's easy. It's just so easy to forget. That's why I think it's just
Yeah.
not something that people default to. But you know, so I remember we talked last, and you were telling me about the Air Force. So you're still in the Air Force, is that right?
Yep. I'm
Okay,
actually finishing up my 5 year contract pretty
that's
shortly.
awesome.
So by next summer, I'll be separated from it. And so
Okay.
then I'll be able to focus full time on the entrepreneurial business,
Nice.
which is my love, my greater love. That's why I'm
Yep.
separating.
Very good, man. Yeah, I'm excited for you. You're telling me how passionate you are about being out in the confidence coaching space as well. So I was like, man, we got to link up, man. I know we have to do this. So I'm glad we're
Yeah,
doing it now, but I am
yeah,
I am curious about how the Air Force has helped you, helped train you. Cause I know there's a lot of like vigorous training that you guys go through. So how has that kind of helped your confidence, or maybe it's given you some anxiety initially going into it, but now it's good.
yeah. That's actually a freaking awesome question, and I think it offers a very unique perspective for people who are just curious about how confidence works in the military.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've never actually like answered this question to anyone, but I love it, and I've got
Perfect.
some things to say about that.
Yeah.
One word the Air Force uses a lot is resiliency. It's actually used so much, and I think that's their way of using confidence. They just like the word resilient because it sounds military like, I guess. But it's one of those words that has become so overused that when we have mandatory resiliency trainings, so there actually is resiliency trainings,
Right. Okay.
people automatically are repelled from it. It's like, oh, it's mandatory. I have to go to this freaking training, go talk about resiliency, go hear about people's feelings and hear about people's heroic stories or whatever. And it's like people aren't really tied to it. They're not passionate about it. When you're not passionate about it, you're not really going to grow. It's just you're just there going through the motions of it.
Yeah.
But yes, where the military is great because it instills discipline in people. They hold you accountable. You got to do it on time. That's why they hold these mandatory briefings. They expect you to be there, but they overdo the discipline where it loses personal motivation in people. People being
Interesting.
repelled when they hear the word resiliency. It's just when you force someone to do something when they don't want to do it or they're not self-motivated, eventually they burn out. And that's just like with setting goals and stuff. When we
Yep.
try to demand ourselves, which can be like the inner critic in ourselves, do more, do faster. Why aren't you more confident? Why can't you just get over your fear of talking to attractive women? Why can't you just jump into group setting?
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
because you haven't given yourself the you haven't figured out why you want to do it. You're not motivated to do it yet. Yelling at yourself to do it doesn't work. It's not. It's actually going to work against you, and you're going to grow bitter. Just like people hearing the word resiliency, they're like, ugh, like already. So while the military is great because it does kick you into action, it overdoes it so that it can, applying it to ourselves, it can be just like over demanding of ourselves, which burns ourselves out. I think a better approach that the military can learn from some of these, some of the confidence mentors and self-development gurus out there is to slow down. Sometimes slowing down actually does equal speeding up. Don't demand so much. It's not about more discipline. It's about listening to yourself
Hmm.
and giving yourself just the right amount of discipline that you
Right.
can enjoy the journey as well. I get we want results, but if you don't enjoy the journey,
Hmm.
you're not gonna win in the long run.
Yep.
And so yeah, that's how I would say would be the downside to the military's approach to
Yeah.
confidence, or as they call it, resiliency/discipline.
I think that, yeah, I think obviously depends on the person enrolled. I'm assuming, because I'm sure it affects everybody differently. Some people
Yeah,
come out so messed up mentally than they were before. Some people come out even stronger than others. Um, it's just a crazy thing. I've never had the urge to get into the military. So so thank you for your service. You're gonna
oh, I appreciate it.
it's yeah, I think it's a good thing. Honestly, if I would have kind of went a different direction in life as far as kind of worked on my anxiety a lot sooner, I feel like I maybe would have actually dabbled into the military at some point, because I'm just strictly for the, like you said, the resiliency. I think it's just because I've seen some really good things come from some of my friends that are in the military. They a lot more disciplined, a lot more put together, and not that I was necessarily lacking that or anything, but it's just nice to see like that's one good outcome that could come from that. So thank you for
Yeah,
sharing your piece on that. So
yeah. Thanks
speaking,
for asking.
yeah, no, of course. I was saving that one. I was like, this one's gonna be good. I want to see what he says about this one.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, so you wrote a book as well. amongst
That's
many
right.
of the things that you've done. Tell us little bit more about your book.
Yeah. So, with all these ideas of growing in confidence, and as I became more passionate about it, I wanted to really capture, like, what is everything I've learned upon in my journey of confidence growth. And so I thought about, what is the best title I could come up with for a book? And I was like, I got it. It's the ultimate. It's got to have the word ultimate in it.
Yep.
Confidence game. Because if I was to simplify confidence into one statement, uh, I'd really want to capture that confidence is a game that you can play daily
Hmm.
and gain experience points and level up in time.
Yeah.
And what that just means is you can actually become, just like when you play video games, you can sometimes get like really into it, sometimes addicted to it, just really
Yep.
obsessed with it. You can turn your life into a video game where you absolutely, you love playing it every day. You're addicted to it, but in a healthy way. And you're constantly trying to overcome hurdles and obstacles so that you can level up, get to the next level. There's always a next level of our confidence. And yeah, there's going to be challenges to get there, but those challenges are the stepping stones to the higher level. Just
Yep.
like just like people look forward to challenges in video games, what if people looked forward to challenges in their own confidence transformation?
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't seem so scary, like the anxiety, it's facing fears, like, here's the challenge, you're afraid of talking to attractive women. Okay, today's challenge is to go start a conversation with three attractive women. And it's like, oh yeah, that's scary. But wait a minute, what if it was like a video game? What
Yep.
if you knew that you were getting better and you could feel it as you were doing it?
Yep.
And so yeah, that whole book just takes the reader through 6 levels to defeat anxiety and unlock their social potential.
I love that. I love the way right when I saw the book, I think I found you actually on Amazon. Is that where your book is still currently up for grabs, or
It is.
one of the places that it's up for grabs?
Yep.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this guy, yeah, he knows what's up." So I'm gonna go ahead and message this guy and see, because it took me back to like complete nostalgia, right? Like Super Mario, Nintendo 64, or not Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo Mario, right? I was like, this is like the perfect, because it brings back so much nostalgia. The title just rocks, and I'm like, man, you nailed it perfectly with the way you kind of just described exactly how you can kind of take on this this new way of thinking. And it's like it's perfect, because a lot of people don't realize that you have to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. And that's exactly like kind of what your book is influencing. And I love that. um yeah, man, I when I was first starting my journey with my therapist, like trying to help me with anxiety, there was a demand on my end. I was like, I want homework assignments, and the therapist I was working with at the time didn't give homework assignments. So it was kind of like
Oh yeah.
out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? So when I finally found someone that was a little bit more on my level, she really put me to a lot of tests, and that ultimately led to a lot of like rapid um, results and growth that I started seeing. And it's little like I said, little small wins brought me to the point where, oh, this is what it feels like to have confidence. It's like your homework assignment is talking to three attractive women. After the first one, it's not so bad. After the second
No.
one, it's a little bit better. After the third one, maybe you get a phone number,
Yeah.
So I love that. It's just little increments, and it doesn't really, what people don't really think about is they think about it without actually thinking about it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. When people think, let's say that's a homework assignment, and they say, well, I can't do that. And what would you say would be the worst case scenario, of that situation? What are they going to do? Hit you in the face? And then, you know,
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's interesting to if we were to really try to figure out what we're actually afraid of, yeah, like you're saying, give someone a challenge, go talk to that attractive woman. All you have to do is just greet that attractive woman. Oh, I can't do it. I can't. It's like,
yep.
what is actually going on inside that person's mind? Because if it just stopped at if we just stayed at the fact is the worst that would happen is you hear a sound that indicates that she is rejecting you. You're not in physical danger. She's not going to hit you.
Yep.
I mean, she might, but realistically, no.
Depends what you
She
say when
literally,
you when you greet them.
yeah, but if you're just saying, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Hmm.
or "Hey, what's up?"
Yep.
like chances are you're not going to get hit. And the worst that might happen is she ignores you because you were too quiet
Yeah.
or something like that. And so if you think about it, and then you ask the question, can you handle that? Can you handle someone ignoring you? I mean, yeah, physically, yeah, I guess I could. So what's the actual problem? The whole
Yep.
problem is how big of a deal we make it in our mind.
Exactly.
It's all about it means I'm a loser. I suck at life. I'm a failure. I knew it. And it's like, wait, none of that actually, that's the world didn't tell you you're a loser. That's
Hmm.
just what you're telling yourself.
Yep.
And that can be a strong awakening moment that, holy crap, the world didn't make me like this. I did.
Yep.
And I know that's rough to hear. And it has to be we have to guide people to that realization in a very loving, empathetic way. Just saying it to someone, that can be a little too much.
Yeah.
uh, but it's realizing that we always were in control. We're the ones telling ourselves the story. We're the ones entrapping ourselves. That's when we can start to liberate ourselves.
Yeah, and that's absolutely right because it's kind of sad that we don't just let confidence take the lead. We tend to, just like you said, we slip into all of these. Oh, the world hates me. It's because I'm fat. It's because I'm ugly. It's because I don't have enough followers on Instagram or whatever. Some ridiculous story we decide to kind of put in our minds. That's never the case. Well, did that person say that? No, but I'm sure that's why. It's like that, no
Yeah.
confidence whatsoever. It's like, why can't we let confidence be ahead of all of that? And that's what, that's why I'm like, man, confidence is such a big thing in everyone's lives, but no one really takes the time to kind of acknowledge that. It's kind of like the guy at the gym that works on everything in the front and ignores the back. So it's like you have to kind of train this in order for you to feel like you can take on the world, because the world is not a welcoming place at times. you know so it's I love that. First of all, I love that you have a book out that literally tells you how to level up. So I can't wait to read it. I still got to pick that up. That's been on my Amazon cart for like, when did we first talk? A couple months back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
I must have like 6 or 7 books in my cart right now, that including that one. So I just need to purchase that one just so I
Hey,
can
it's a
start leveling
start.
up too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect, man. Um, so let me ask you this. If I was a client coming to you right now, this is our, I mean, maybe let's just say you already have a little bit of background on me, kind of thing, where this isn't an introductory phone call or anything like that. But I tell you, hey, Josh, I have issues with, let's see, I'm gonna make up a scenario on the spot. Let's
Okay.
do let's do like a job scenario. Okay. So I want to get a raise, but I don't feel that I can walk up to the boss and be like, "Hey, I've been busting my butt." How would you approach that if a client decided to tell you, like, if they had kind of boss conversation, raise issue, anxiety type of stuff? How would you approach that?
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. So yeah, I'd approach that like I would approach any goal. I would start with why. What is your big reason for why you want to raise? A lot of times, I just want more money. It's like, okay, I mean, that's great and stuff, but how motivating is that for you to just go up to your boss right now and go ask for a raise?
Yeah.
It's like whatever your reasoning for doing that right now is, it's not strong enough because you haven't done it yet. So why? Like, why do you really want it? Now,
Yeah.
kind of just take the time to kind of, a person needs that time to really think about that. So I'd ask, varying questions. Maybe, what are the benefits of getting a raise? What would be the best part of those benefits? Now, why would that be the best part? And then I would look at the reverse side. So what is not getting a raise? How is that making your life worse? What is it taking away from you? What are the bad parts of it? Not getting the raise. What's the worst part? Why? So really capture, why is it bad that I don't have a raise? What's the worst part of it?
Yep.
Because that can be used as an awakening as well. Okay, yeah, that's not the life I want. I don't want to continue without a raise. This is why. And then this is why I want a raise, because of all these amazing reasons.
Yeah.
And then once I capture their why, now they can feel more compelled. And then I just check back in. Well, are you able to go walk up to your boss now with that reasoning? What if you explained it just like that to your boss?
Yeah.
Told them exactly why you must have the raise.
Yeah.
And then after we capture that, then we practice. I do some role playing with the person. Okay, I'm your boss. Why do you want to raise? Explain it to yourself, and then kind of polish it up so that we work out the nerves, get the nerves out, so that he's able to just say it professionally, neutrally
Yep.
as well.
Without the hey boss, I was kind of wondering if I could have a raise. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I know that's that's kind of a sensitive subject for a lot of people that know they deserve more money, but know it may not be the best time, especially during a pandemic, to ask for a raise. So it's I think that's really helpful to be able to kind of touch base with, well, why do you feel like you deserve that? Like you deserve, not deserve a raise, but why do you
Yeah,
want it? I love that. Like you just stop for a minute, like get out of your head. Why is it so scary? Okay, now let's practice. So I love that approach because it teaches them to not only realize that it's not so scary, but two, saying it out loud is possible. So they don't have to be nervous about presenting themselves. That's perfect. I
yeah,
love that. That's awesome, man. So I need to ask you actually, because I ask every person on this show already.
yeah.
I want to know what your definition of confidence means. So what does confidence mean to you?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Save
man.
some
So
good ones for the end.
so I defined it a few different ways in my book.
Yep.
Toward the end of it, I broke it down to three components, but I'm going to see if I can try to remember it.
Okay.
I'll kind of just like speak until I kind of remember it.
That's cool.
But
Yeah.
one of my definitions of confidence is just simply positive energy, and I mean positive energy in the sense of it's energy that says, I got this, I can handle this, bring it on, let's go. It's
Yep.
just energy that takes you to action, but it's positive energy. So it's action towards something good. I guess confidence could be used negatively as well, but in the scope of the confidence I'm referring to, it's loving. And so that would be if I was to break it down a little bit more, confidence is self-love. It's self-compassion. It's the ability to love yourself, or accept the pain within, love the pain within.
Mm,
So, it's kind of like we were talking about, getting uncomfortable is the path to being comfortable. Loving the pain within is the path to confidence.
yeah.
Love is healing. Anxiety needs the love to transform into confident energy. And also, at the deepest core of confidence would be when you can conclude that, when you truly believe that you are willing to face any uncomfortable feeling. If
Mhm.
you can face any uncomfortable feeling, any fear, then then you can handle anything in life,
Yeah.
because all our fears are fears of uncomfortable feelings.
Yep.
It's that discomfort. But if we're willing to face any uncomfortable feeling, we can handle any rejection in life, handle any disapproval, any outcome we didn't want, and we can truly come to this truth and believe it about ourselves, that we love every aspect of ourselves,
Yep.
and we wouldn't trade any aspect of it.
Yep.
So
I love
yeah,
that.
that's kind of like, yeah, it's
Well,
like, I got all these thoughts about it. It would take a little bit of time for me to just like distill it down to one sentence,
right.
but in like a roundabout way, those are like aspects of it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
tap
I mean, we
tap
can
them out.
obviously get an inside of your mind with your book for sure on what confidence actually, means to you in a very, very in-depth kind of
Yeah, like more
non-compact.
organized.
Yeah. But that was perfect though. I love that because I can definitely relate to a lot of things that you're saying right now too. So it's just interesting to see what confidence means to a lot of people. It could mean something completely different to someone that I talk to tomorrow or the next day, kind of thing. And it's just nice to get an idea or everyone's mind what that is at. Um, so Josh, I want to ask, based on your own experiences, right? If you had one key piece of confidence building advice to give to our audience, what would it be?
Oh yeah. Okay. So my absolute favorite is just t- uh, the daily discipline, not necessarily daily, but the frequent habit of envisioning the most confident version of yourself that you can realistically become in this lifetime. And realistically is one of those words, like, what is realistic really? But obviously you don't want to like overdo it. Like if you're like, I don't know, trying to become a gold medalist Olympian,
Yeah.
that's great. I don't want to deny that dream for anyone, but we want to think realistically in the sense of, like what really makes sense for you to go after in life. Don't
Yeah.
just dream to dream, but actually tie it to something that you realistically want,
Yeah.
and that you're passionate about. But yeah, just the habit of constantly dreaming. It's people who don't dream that don't actually really grow. They stagnate in life.
Mhm. Yep.
You go where you're mind is. Your focus takes you in a direction. If you're not focused on growth, you're not going to grow. That's
It's
just the
true.
bottom line. So
That's
yeah,
very true. That's very true. I love that. Yeah, that's something that I can definitely take and apply with me, right now. It's okay to kind of dream big, but if you're aiming for the Olympic gold, chances are you're not going to get there tomorrow. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I love that because if you realistically just say, well, tomorrow I'm going to get better at this one thing, I think that's a better approach, to focus on steps that you could take to get to that huge goal. Not to say, like you said, not that's impossible. It's just a little easier to get to when you're not taking a 1,000-foot leap first, right?
yeah. And I actually have a part two to that because it's important. It's
Good, yeah,
once we have the goal, we gotta find a way to keep ourselves focused on it, and so that's where the immersion comes in. The affirmations, the notes on the mirror, listening to recordings of yourself, putting reminders in your phone that pop up randomly in the day. Hey, focus on the goal or whatever it is. Write it on your calendar. Uh, put a timeline on it. Put dates. Mark your progress. Track it. So that's like when you get like really engulfed in it.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
yeah,
When you just completely, like you said, completely immerse yourself around, positivity and confidence affirmations like that, it's really hard to let the negative infiltrate your mind. It's really hard to break that when you wake up with such good things around you all the time. It's like the people that focus on the negative, they're going to always be miserable. So it's, what is that, the life that you want for yourself, or do you want to be more upbeat, happy, pleasant, and likable? It's not fun being miserable.
yeah.
So I
But
love
we
that.
do it. But it's like we do it still
Yeah,
because we're,
yeah.
we're unwilling to get uncomfortable. We're unwilling
It's
to
it's
yeah.
just it's much less work to be miserable at times because you don't have to do anything, but the results are infinite whenever you decide to take your life into a better path. I've seen it for myself, and I know you have as well, just given with our anxiety backgrounds. It's we put the work in, and here we are. Now we're showing up in the world the way we've always wanted to show up. And that's why I love having you on here, man. So give us an idea of where we can find some more information about you.
Yeah. So there's a link that you should be able to click below to download my free ebook. So this is different than my published book. This is just something quick. If you want something quick to get going on confidence, building the foundation, and it's called 5 Steps to Break the Anxiety Barrier.
Nice.
So
Love it.
yeah, actionable steps, simple steps. You can also head over to my website, socialconfidenceforlife.com, and get the ebook there as check out the blogs on that homepage.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll go ahead and leave that link down below in case everybody wants to go check it out. I really strongly encourage you guys either pick up his book or download the ebook, or actually both. I recommend doing both for sure. So, Josh, it's been a huge honor to have you on board of this summit. I appreciate you endlessly. Thank you so much for being here. Is there any last final thoughts you'd like to wish our viewers?
Yeah, I would just say be your own scientist of your life.
I
When
love
when
that.
you when you hear the voice of change is impossible, I don't, why bother? Why try? I've been
Yep.
like this. It's always been, therefore always well. Well, have you ever tried a different approach? Have you ever tried changing? And if you try changing, have you ever tracked your progress as well? Because sometimes we can deceive ourselves. Yes, I've tried and nothing's changed, but
Yep.
are you actually tracking the data? Because if you
Hmm.
track it, you may very well find that, hey, you actually are getting better. And if you stick
Yeah,
stick to it long enough, you'll climb the mountain.
exactly.
Stay in it. It is possible. It's all about controlling anxiety. Once you get outside of anxiety, then you find that you really are the captain of your ship. You can steer the direction of your life. And,
That's
yeah. So I would
good.
leave the hearers, the raving fans out there, Sam.
Perfect. Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, this show wouldn't be anything without you guys being a part of this. So I really do appreciate you being here and allowing me to kind of pick your brain about a lot of topics that I feel would be beneficial to the world. So, Josh, it's been a huge pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to working with you again.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks,
All
Sam.
right, you take care.
All right, you too.